Just before the video starts, a quick apology. The audio is gonna be sounding like it's cutting in and out, and honestly, it's because I suck at making these videos, and I forget that with the type of microphone that I have to actually be directly in front of it. If I turn away from it, it'll sound like it's cutting out, and it's not that it's cutting out. It's just I'm not facing the microphone at the time. So excuse the audio. I promise I'll get better at doing this. Enjoy the video. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Puppy David, and said I was gonna make a little bit of an extended video this time around um, about the Azeron setup. So there's just a couple of I guess I'm gonna try to make it as quick as possible. But the game that I have right now up here is Apex, and the reason I put Apex on was because I think the setup will be a little bit quicker, but to show, but it'll work just about the same for, well, it should work for just about any game. So while we're getting that loaded up into the firing range, uh, sorry if it's loud, but anyways, all right, let's go back over here. Now, first off, now when you first get the Azeron, it's gonna tell you to go to azeron.eu and download the software. I'm imagining you already got past that. So we're gonna move on from there. Let's say you already have the profile set up and you already have it, and now yours is gonna look a little bit different than mine. What I ended up doing was that I just made another profile. I don't have the default anymore, and this is just basically a copy of one of these profiles. I think it was like the Halo one that I haven't finished. But anyways, you're gonna see maybe like 1, 2, 3, 4 or F11s or whatever. It's gonna say whatever, right? All you want to do first off is unbind all. This will unbind your buttons except for the analog stick, etc. Okay, so now everything's completely blank, right? Now, um, let's just imagine that you're setting up these up here, right? Before we start, so um, before we start binding, let's imagine it's these, right? Now, you might already know this, you might not, but for those who don't know, these two right here, where it says onboard memory, that's let me switch to a different camera. That's a button that is okay. My camera is gone. Hang on 1 second. That is this button right here. So it'll say 1, 2, 1, 2, or whatever. So this one's gonna be the very top one, which I have marked down as like Warzone, and the second button is for Apex. I mean, these were like two main games that I played the most. So that way you don't actually have to open your profile. The onboard memory, it has it set up so oops. So whenever you're playing, you don't want to open the app. I mean, you just click either to have number one. Let's see if you'll see it, or number two. See how the check mark went to number two? Okay. Now, these usually you just want to set up on the onboard memory, the games that you play the most. Now, let's say you want to do a different game. One of these, you haven't been playing it as much. So let's say you wanted to go to Halo. Well, all you got to do is if you want to keep Warzone, but you want to take out Apex, you click Halo to be your onboard memory number two, and it'll switch those out. Now, make sure to click for this to be on. If it's off, it's not going to work. It's not going to work down here. It's just going to be working off of the profiles at the bottom. So it just depends how you want to set that part up. Anyways, let's go back over here to the profile. Now, on the profile, uh, what I like to do when I start setting it up is I literally like setting it up. Let's put this. Let's take this one down for a second. What I like doing is I I like to go directly to the settings that they already have. So your WASD, let's see if we can go ahead and put both of them on screen real quick. Change the size, or change, let me see, move this. I'm not great at doing these kind of videos, so work with me. All right, I think that's a pretty decent size right there. There we go. Okay, now WASD is always going to be your toggle stick here, right? Now, when you click on it, make sure it's set up on keyboard, not on Xbox, and then accept, right? Okay, canceling that. Now, the way I like to set it up, me personally, is I've tried playing keyboard, and of course, your shift button's all the way to the left, right? So I figured, okay, my pinky and everything like that, all that's gonna be, you know, it's gonna work out be better on the left, right? So what you do is you click on the paddle, and then you click on keyboard, and it's automatically gonna default with a W. What you Okay, you might see a slight edit in here, but okay, back to what we were talking about. Uh, you click it, click keyboard, and hit shift, and see, changed it right away. So now this first flapper here is going to be shift. You press escape, and now it's shift, and that's sticky keys. So make sure you don't do that. All right. So it's just that simple. You go over here. Okay, space is jump. I like to have that. I'd like to have that over here on my pointer finger, just simply because when I was playing controller, playing controller, I used the Elite 2. Let's see, camera, and I had my fingers back here, and it was sometimes I would use these back fingers. I don't. It just made more sense to me to do that. Plus, um, it's just you have your E. I believe it's E on here. I accidentally took too long. But anyways, again, same thing. I think we're gonna get out of the shooting range. Just go straight to settings on here. Settings. Okay. I believe it's E on here to interact, and where we at? Yeah, E to interact or pick up. So, like I said, click, go to that, click E, accept, go down here. This the first paddle. This space bar, accept, etc., 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 and just basically go by whatever it is that you want to do. Now, let's say you're messing around and you just don't like having it set up like that. Maybe you want it in a different way. Maybe you want because you don't like pushing directly down to E. Well, and you have this E. How do I unbind it? Well, it basically tells you right here at the bottom. Right click on any button to unbind. So go to your E. You unbind it. Then you go to the next one up here. Go to keyboard and click E, and boom, you have a new location for your E. So now let's say this is another profile the way that I have it set up here down here, and I decide I want it up here. Remember, you can go ahead and click it as onboard memory number 2, number 1. You can favorite it, just to make sure that it's sorry about that. Somebody's coming in and out of the room. If you heard the squeak, you can favorite this, and just I guess just to symbolize that you already have it done, etc. All right, now down here, uh, you can set up the dark mode. The left layout is if you're left-handed, you have every left-handed, right-handed. It has it to where you can set it up differently, however you order it. Now down here, this is one of the things that I wanted to mention. Once you have all this set up, the profiles and everything, cool. What I would suggest you to do is to export it and save it onto your computer. I had an incident where there was an update that I needed to do, or something happened. I'm not exactly sure what it was. In instance that I needed to update the Azeron and had me reset it. As you reset it, there's a button that's hidden back here is a little hole. You poke it, it resets it, but you basically lose everything that you've ever keybinded. So it's gonna take a while for you to bind all of these keys, and for you to figure out where it is that you want everything. And the last thing you want to do is say, "Oh crap, I forgot where I had this. I forgot where I had that, or just having to take the time to redo every single game, especially when it comes to like Call of Duty. You have Cold War, Vanguard, and Cold War and Modern Warfare. I mean, there you go. And then you have to go, and some of them are slightly different. They have a couple of different things. And I had to adjust the letters on I think it's Modern Warfare and Black Ops. I think there is one thing that they do. I forget exactly what it was, but I had to change it to like a Y or a J or something like that. I'm not 100% sure. But anyways, you'll see when you start doing it if you play these games. Now, like I said, export it, save it to your computer. That way, if you do the reset and you don't feel like doing that, boom, you go to import, you find the file, and everything's restored. Now, when it comes to button throttling, I put it at 2. Uh, it just kind of puts a little delay to make sure you accidentally meant to click it and not an accidental like tap while you're trying to hit one of these up here. But at the same time, I didn't. I want to put it higher, but at the same time, I'm afraid that if you're like, say, in a shooter, you don't want any delay between whatever action you're gonna do. So I just left it at 2. Now, when you calibrate, you're calibrating the joystick. I think I moved this. No, no, I didn't move it. I just got off of the page. Uh, the joystick, your WASD. Now, I'm not gonna do it 'cause I already have it calibrated, and it seems to be working just fine the way I want. But what it's gonna do, it's gonna say to leave it alone, don't move it. It's calculating like a dead zone, and then it's gonna tell you to do circles with it, right? And my instinct was, okay, take it all the way to the edge, and then just start doing wide circles and wide circles till it calibrates it, right? Well, unless you actually, play like that, where you actually go all the way around the edge, or it might be because the length of my thumb compared to others, or whatever. Maybe some people do, maybe some people don't. But my suggestion is for you to actually just move in circles or however you want. It doesn't have to be a perfect circle. You see, mine's all janky, wobbling all over the place. Anyways, I would suggest you to just move it however much you would actually move it in the game. So if you just do tiny circles, because if you do these large circles, what could end up happening is that maybe if you're in a game like on Apex and you're trying to strafe, right? Trying to strafe. Let's see if we can get into the firing range real quick. You're trying to strafe. You're trying to avoid being shot or something, and you're clicking to the left and to the right. Sometimes what actually will happen is that since you did the big giant loop on the joystick, it calibrated saying, okay, you have to go all the way over here to the edge for it to start moving to the left. You have to go all the way to the right to start going, to start going right the way you want, right? So what I noticed that happened to me was, let's get back into the game, was that when I was hitting, trying to strafe, pretty quickly. Let's see if we can get out here. Light. I don't think it really matters, but when I was trying to strafe quickly, it wasn't like it was a delay, and it wasn't to actually hit the edge that it's or close to the edge, um, that it actually started moving. Like it would kind of jitter a little bit, and instead of doing the actual full strafe that I wanted. So what I suggest is for you to just do the tiny circles, like I was saying. That way, whenever you're strafing, you're going side to side. You don't actually have to go all the way left, all the way right, on the joystick itself to get her to actually strafe or even to move forward. Sometimes I was trying to press shift and move forward, and it wouldn't. She just wouldn't. Or I say she because I'm using Wraith right now. She wouldn't move, or the character wouldn't move. So because I wasn't pressing forward enough. So there's little things like that to keep in mind whenever you're setting it up. After you have that set up, you're basically good to go. You get to set these little things of you want your LED light on, which is basically the little picture down here. I'm assuming, I'm not 100% sure, but I think you can order more something more customized with more lights and whatnot. I got the cheaper one because, well, I'm broke. But anyways, I think that's basically about it. Try to make this as fast as possible. Try not to make this a super long video, but I did want to, do something a little bit more extensive. Now, if you want to see my my Apex keybinds, that's how I have mine keybind right now at the moment. You'll see I have two map buttons right here. It's just this one I use it mainly when I'm in the firing range just to switch characters, but this one's the one that I started using for whenever I'm actually in game. And yeah, take a look at that. You can pause it, check it out, see if that works for you. Other than that, I think that's about it. But if there's anything else that you'd like me to add or you think I missed, just go ahead and leave it in the comments, and I'll, try to either respond in the comments or possibly make another video. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. Hopefully it helped. If it did, hit subscribe, like, let me know what kind of content you'd want to see. And as always, my links are going to be below. I stream on Twitch. Recently I haven't had a chance during this past week. Been real busy. A lot of issues here at the house, but I'm gonna get back on it. Right now we're working on Vanguard, leveling up these weapons. The new map's supposed to be coming out here in a couple of days. So hopefully, some of y'all can stop by, say hi, say what's up. And this is usually how I end my stream. Always remember, do better. See you on the next one.